Carpenter and the Banks Brothers, they have not let the music die over this little rest period. At the moment, we have a new single out, and we also have a new instrumental out as well. So to talk about it is Michael Carpenter himself. Michael, congratulations on both of the singles, and also thank you for keeping the music alive.
Yeah, look, it's been a really interesting time for all of my musical friends, all my creative friends in general, where we just kind of sat in our hands and waited to see what happens next. But funnily enough, when we went into lockdown here in Sydney, we were supposed to start recording the new record the following week, and we kind of messaged each other and went, well, what do we do? And we went, well, let's just keep going. Both of the boys have got recording studios at home or got recording situations at home, so we just got to work. In some ways, it's been a great opportunity for us to do a lot more work than we probably would have had the opportunity to, because we're all pretty busy guys. So it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise.
Being a producer yourself, we're hearing from a lot of producers that they're not having time to work on their own stuff because they've actually been quite busy with everybody bringing new music out.
Yeah, look, it's been interesting from my point of view. As a producer, I go through cycles. They're kind of tracking cycles and mixing cycles. And I just finished up some mixing cycles and was about to go into tracking cycles. So new projects are about to start just as we went into lockdown. So I've actually had probably 4 full album projects that have just been on pause. And a lot of my other producer friends were quite busy because they were on their mixing cycle. But for me, I've actually been quite quiet for the last couple of months, which, again, I try to look at everything that is presented to me as an opportunity. And so for me, it was an opportunity to dive pretty heavy into spatial audio mixing and getting my head around that. And so I've actually had downtime, which meant that I could write a lot more songs and focus on doing the Banks Brothers project, which is, my main project at the moment.
The biggest influence in the young man's life is his dad, and it is probably one of the most daunting things to have to write about and to get it out there to the people. How did you find that?
Look, I've been trying to write a song about my dad and my family I've been a songwriter for a long time, and they've always been really lame. It's very easy to get overly sentimental and cheesy with it all. And then there was one particular day I was hanging out my washing, and my partner had sent me a message and just she'd been talking to my dad, and she went, oh, you are so your father's son. And the whole song, Tracy, came in one go. Like it literally, it took as long as it took me to type it into my phone. Then walk inside and just sing a demo of the melody, and I didn't change a word, and that was it. So I think I'd been wanting to write it for a long time. I think that I was aware of the fact that this is the longest time I've been away from my father since I've been alive. I haven't seen Dad now for a couple of months. Well, I'm very, very close to my mum and dad, and very, very fortunate that my mum and dad are still with me, and my 96-year-old grandmother. I think I was right on edge, so the conditions are right. You'll interview a lot of songwriters, and sometimes you just have to wait for the conditions to be perfect for the song to come, and then the song delivers itself fully formed.
We listen to a lot of songs every day, and some of them, and yes, I do understand how much a song and the meaning feels and means to a songwriter, but to get it out there into the public and to make them feel that same thing, that's a really hard task, because in your mind, this is the best song and it's the best way it's done. But to get it out there and portray it like that, and you've done an incredible job to be able to do that, because people can, and I feel that you can relate that to your own stories. And particularly watching that film clip as well, you've kept it very basic, clean, a couple of photos there, and it just tells the story.
Yeah, look, it ended up being a really important time for me. As it turned out, the week before Father's Day this year, I became a close contact with somebody, so I had to go into isolation for about 10 days. And so Father's Day this year was interesting for me because I was in my apartment by myself, didn't see my mum and dad, and didn't see my kids. Having that song out there this year for Father's Day, where a lot of people weren't seeing their families, I felt like it was a really important gesture from my point of view, from a personal point of view. And I'd gotten a lot of great messages from people saying it was a lovely thing. There was a really good friend of mine who'd lost his dad over the last 12 months, and it was his first Father's Day without his dad, and the song really hit him like a ton of bricks, but in a good way. It was a really cathartic thing for him, and it's a very positive song that speaks of the joy of being in a close family, and I'm certainly very fortunate to be in that situation.
Well, I think you've got a timeless song on your hands there, so congratulations with that one.
Thank you.
Folks, we're talking to Michael Carpenter from Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers, and another one that you've got at the moment is the instrumental. Now, to me, again, it's called Hot Balls. I love the name, but it also reminds me of a couple of things, though. When I listen to it, I can be on a theme ride at a theme park, on a roller coaster ride or something. It takes me through that. Or on the other flip side, I can also see myself sitting in a bar somewhere on a Hawaiian island and watching that bartender make the cocktails. It just seems to have that rhythm.
Look, the thing about the instrumentals with me and the boys, I mean, these two guys, Zane and Jai Perry, are the two of the best country instrumentalists in the world. It's important for us to be able to give them a showcase, and so we but we're fun guys. We really enjoy each other's company, and even the title it came from. We're like I said before, we're very, very busy, and we were at a gig, and I made the comment, "Oh, we've got a lot of balls in the air at the moment, boys," and Jai just went, "And they're all hot." I went, bang, there's our title. And so we want to have fun with it. Again, one of the pleasing things that I've gotten from people when they've heard it is that it's very skillful, I think, from the boys' playing point of view, but it's cheeky and a bit fun. And the fact that it evokes those sort of images for you means a lot to us because, yeah, we want it to be a fun sort of thing. You know, a few people have said it's almost like a James Bond sort of thing as well, but it's still got a country kind of vibe to it as well. So we have a lot of fun with our instrumentals, and of course, it's out there for a good cause. You know, we're only putting up there on Bandcamp at the moment, and all proceeds are going to support ACT, who have been absolute lifesavers for our creative community over the last few months.
For anybody that is looking at supporting either the single or the instrumental, how can they do that?
Well, the My Father's Son track is a normal single release. It's up there on all the streaming services. But if you want to help us out and get into Hot Balls, you can only buy it from the Big Radio Records Bandcamp page. Or you can come and find us on Facebook, and there's links to all that stuff on our page as well.
In the background, we have played a little bit of that Hot Balls instrumental, but I do want to go out with the song My Father's Son. Michael Carpenter, thank you very much for joining us. And this is Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers.
Wake each morning, Dad, I am. Take on that job the best I can. And live my life proud to proclaim. Sharing others my